Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Chard here, your tech guy. So today I'm going to be going into the third part of this series of videos that I'm making on how to do live stream DJing. So in this part, it's all going to be about the software and all the online service you're going to need to get this ball rolling. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so to start off, you're going to need a website. Now you can name it whatever you want to, but you're going to need a website. If you know how to build one, that's great. If you don't, you need to find somebody to build your website, because this is what you're going to need. Now, I stream on this website called eletro-voice. And as you can see, the video is on one side. I got a schedule, and then this is the live chat. So while the DJ is playing like he's playing now, you can see the live chat of what's going on here. Okay? So this is going to be your first step. You're going to need to have the website and have it ready to go, because the other components are going to tie into this. But don't skip this step. This is your first step. Get the website built, get it set up, and then you can be able to drop all this stuff in, because these are coming in from different locations. You know, this is coming from a service that does the live streaming, and this is coming from another service that's doing the chat box. And then this is coming from your Google Calendar if you decide to use that. But you can use any calendar you want to use as far as putting in the schedule, if you want to schedule up there. If you're the only one DJing, that's fine. If you have a group of you DJing, then you're going to need some type of schedule to let people know who is going to play and when. Okay? So, website first. Now, the streaming service that does this video is called The Cast. It's one of the most inexpensive service out there, so I would go with this guy. And it all depends on how much bandwidth you're going to use. You know, if you're just one person by yourself, that probably suffice. But if not, you can step up to the next level. That's $125 a month. And that's all these purchases are annual bill. On the month to month, it's a different price. So if you go month to month, this is a one-time fee. Month to month pricing is a little bit different. And if you just got an event and you just want to do it one event type of deal, then you can pay per event, which is like prepaid. So you have, for instance, 1 to 5 terabytes, that's 25 cents per gigabytes, and so forth as you go down the line. So streaming service is The Cast. It's the most cost-effective one out there right now. There's other streaming services out there. They're a little bit more expensive, but like I say, if you're starting off, you might want to start here and take it from there. I would start off with probably the month to month instead of doing the annual. You know, it depends on how things go, but you make that choice. You got to do whatever is in your budget. But if you decide to go with the month to month, be aware that there's a 3-month commitment. You need to be committed to pay this amount for the next 3 months each. Not for the 3 months, but each month. Okay? Once you sign up, they'll give you the code that you want to plug into the website. If you're not tech savvy and you know somebody who can build a website for you, or you want to pay somebody to do it, then you would give them the code, because you can go in here and get the code once you log in. I'm going to do all of that, but I'm just going to briefly go over the software right now. Okay, so the next service you're going to need for instance, this chat box you see over here where people are conversating, is called C-Box. C-Box is this chat box that you see over here on this website. You got 3 different plans. You got your free, premium, and pro. You don't want to go with the free, because the free don't last that long. So you want to start off with at least the premium, and if you really can swing it, I would actually recommend going with the pro, because the pro give you full feature. The premium, you get a lot more features too, but you cannot run out of features on the pro. I mean, it's just ridiculous how much stuff you can do with that one. So I would go with the pro plan. So when you put it on the website, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to look like this little default looking box right here. But the cool thing about this chat box thing is it's customizable. This is what it can look like. And this is sharp looking right here. You know, you can have your own color scheme to match your own website. And all these icons that you can load up in there, because like I say, it's customizable. You can add anything you want in there. You know, try to make it uniform. I try to make all of these the same size as far as height. Some of them is a little wider, but if they're the same height, it looks more uniform compared to, you know, one is big and one is small, and one is too small and one is too big. You know, it keeps it that uniform look, because like you can see, everything is like on the same height, and it gives it that neat factor, you know what I mean? So that's the cool thing about this chat box right here. It has that feature built in where you can customize it and add your own custom icon. And this right here is a Google Calendar. I mean, there's nothing really to it. You know, you go in there and make a calendar and the information show up here. There's some other stuff on the site too, but this is the main core of the site right here. If you want to do live stream DJing and have a guest of people interacting with you, this is how you do it. So this is going to be the service you're going to need as far as the website. Okay, so now let's talk about the software that actually runs on your computer. The other stuff I showed you earlier was the streaming services and the chat box services and the calendar services. And those services run on the internet. You need internet access to use those. With these software, they're actually on your computer. And the first one I want to talk about is OBS. And this is OBS Studio. This one is totally free. Totally free. You don't pay anything for it. And it's feature packed. I mean, it's just packed with a whole bunch of features. I mean, features like green screen effect and all kind of different stuff. Now, what you're looking at right now is just a regular screen you will see when you're doing streaming. But it also has a different mode called studio mode. And in the studio mode, you can have one thing over here and the live actual screen over here, because this is what everybody's going to be looking at. But at the same time, you can go over and start prepping something else that you want to go live. So if you have another camera or you have another image or whatever, and once you click that over there, it automatically transfer over there because you hit the transition button right here and you transition it over there. And like I said, you're doing that, you want to go back to this. Now this is always something, like I said, is what you're previewing, and this is always live. So you got to remember that whatever you put over here is what everybody's going to see on the internet. What you see over here is for your preview only. So you can change it to whatever you want to change it to and have whatever you want over there. You know, it's up to you. You can even have live video. And your live video, you can bounce it over there and you see, now they will see that live. So these are the things you can do as far as, like I say, this live streaming stuff. But OBS is the thing you want to use. It's the, I would say, the champion software right now as far as streaming, where it's just free because it has a whole bunch of features built in there. And you can have as many scenes as you want to, any amount of cameras you want to. Now I don't have the camera hooked up, but you know, if I had the camera hooked up, you would see my live streaming going on. But like I said, I stream on the weekends, so you can check the schedule on Natural Vibes website and find me there whenever I'm streaming. Just like I just showed you earlier on the Natural Vibes website where you saw the DJ playing, you know, this is what it looks like behind the scene. This is the kind of software they're using to make this whole thing work. Okay? Okay, so after OBS, you're gonna need your DJing software. I like Virtual DJ. Some guys like Serato. They're pretty much the same basic setup. You know, you'll have like a turntable and the dials and all that good stuff. The only difference is, you know, they might have things lined up differently. But this part right here is pretty much the basic look of it. And you know, and you can change it to whatever style, you know, because I have mine with the turntable, but I can have it with the waves, on the horizontal waves. You know, it all depends on how I want it. Now, once you load up the songs, you can play them on the different turntables and go back and forth. So if you notice on the dial right here, there's a red and a blue. This is the blue dial and this is the red one, you know, just by the color. You see the little stick going around? That's going on. So if I go all red, I'm playing on this side. If I go all blue, I'm playing on that side. And this is where the controller comes in handy, because you don't want to sit there with your mouse all day moving the slider back and forth and moving all these things when it's so easy to just slide it over on the controller. And once you slide the slider left on your controller, it's just going to automatically go right there. And if you slide it right, it's going to go right there. Plus you'll have more precise control over these dials and when you turn them and stuff like that, because you can sit there with your mouse and try to turn it like this, but if you just have that dial right there on the controller, you can just turn it and boom, it goes to that spot. And once you do it on the controller, you will see these interactively moving at the same time. So, you know, that's a good thing about it. I have a 2 platter controller, but there's some controller has 4, so it's customizable up to 4 or even 6. You know, you get 6 decks. Now it doesn't show you 6 players, but it shows you these dials down here, and this represents the 6. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I set them up, then this deck right here will control 3 of those decks down there, and this deck will control the other 3 decks. And that's how it's set up. Over here you get your samples. You know, these are default, and I have my own sample in there, and you know,
you're in the mix with DJ Chard.
And I usually play that during the songs. You know, it depends on what song I'm playing. I usually play that when I'm doing mixes, like DJ mixes. For instance, I'm playing some reggae mix. That's when I use that. You know, so you got to use it appropriately. Then you got all this other stuff, you know, like the horn and the siren. You know, all that stuff in there, but you can add more and, you know, change up these the way you want to. It's your choice. Okay, so that's all the software you're going to need to get this thing running. You need 2 pieces of software and those services. You know, the decast and the chat box. 2 services definitely going to need. As far as the calendar go, you can do it if you want to. You can set up a different schedule. If you're the only one streaming and you want to put in that you stream every Friday, then you wouldn't need a calendar system for that. But if you do, I would use the Google Calendar because it's easy. Once you put that stuff on the calendar, then it automatically show up on the website once you paste that code in and you set up the website. And you also get a code for the decast, and you get another code for the chat box, and all of that get pasted into the site. And that's how the whole thing works together. Now, I know I didn't go into details of how to set these things up, but I didn't want to cram everything in this video. This video was going to feature all the software and services that you need to get this ball rolling. So here's what I'm going to do. I know I said I was going to make 3 videos in this series, but I realized it after I was making this one that it's going to be too much information to be packing into one video. So I'm going to go through and make at least 3 more. Okay, so it's going to end up being a 6-part now. I'm going to focus on each one individually of how to set them up. First, I'm going to go to the cast and the procedure that I went to set it up. And I'm going to go to the chat box and show you how I set that up. I'm going to show you how I connect the controller to the software. And I'm going to show you how I do the OBS. So I guess that's going to be a total of 4 more, 7 videos. I think that'll help you out. I'm just going to go through the basics of how to set these things up. I'm not going to go down to the advanced level that I go to set them up, because if you're a beginner and you're trying to set this thing up, I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information. If you have somebody to build a website, great. If not, you can do it yourself. I'm using WordPress, but you probably can use Wix, or you can use any other service to use to build your website, because you're actually getting codes to paste into the website. You can set it up how you want to. You can check out our website. It's called naturalvibes.com. I'm going to put the link down in the description so you can check it out if you want to. We usually start on Fridays at 6 and go till Sunday about 9 p.m. And that's Eastern time. So check it out. Check our schedule, you know, because we play at various different times of the day, on Saturdays, on Fridays, and on Sundays. Okay? So I want to thank you for taking the time for watching this video. Stay tuned for the other 4 videos. I know I said 3 more, but it's going to be 4 now because I just realized I introduced 4 software. Okay, so stay tuned for those. All right, I'm going to get them to you as soon as I can. But I hope you get an overview of how to do this live DJ streaming now. You know, I did the hardware, I did the connections, I introduced you to the software and services that I use. So now the last set of videos is going to be about going through the settings and actually set them up. Okay, so like I said, I want to thank you for taking the time for watching this video. If you like it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're enjoying this channel, go ahead and subscribe to it. And stay tuned for the next set of videos, okay? And I'll see you next time.